The diner had been quiet all morning until the door chimed open, and a man who looked completely out of place stepped inside. A crisp navy suit, shoes polished like mirrors, a watch worth more than the diner itself. Yet he walked in with tired eyes, as if he'd been carrying the weight of 1,000 decisions. This was Ethan Cole, a billionaire known for building empires. But today, he looked like a man who just wanted a moment of peace. And that's when Maya, the morning shift waitress, noticed something nobody else did. The billionaire wasn't tired, he was lonely. But before we continue this powerful story, be sure to like and subscribe to Jamiel Tales, where every story reminds us that kindness still matters. Maya walked toward him with her gentle smile, the kind that made strangers feel safe. "Rove morning?" she asked softly. Ethan blinked, surprised. People usually froze around him, either intimidated or trying to impress, but she talked like he was just another human being. He looked down at the menu, paused, and quietly said, "Could I just have the cheapest meal you have, the simple breakfast plate?" Most people would have reacted with judgment or confusion, but Maya didn't. She didn't assume he was being stingy. She didn't assume he wanted attention. She didn't assume anything at all. She simply said, with unexpected warmth, "Of course, I'll make sure it's fresh and perfect. Everyone deserves a good meal." Her tone wasn't fake. It wasn't forced. It was kindness, pure and uncomplicated. And for a moment, Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years seen. Too, as Maya walked back to the kitchen, she whispered to the cook, "Hey, let's make this one special. The guy looks like he needs it." She didn't know who he was. She didn't care. She just cared that he looked human. While waiting, Ethan watched her work. Her apron was slightly worn, shoes a little old, but she moved with grace, checking on elderly customers, refilling coffees, adding extra napkins for young moms struggling with toddlers. Tiny, quiet acts of kindness. The world rarely notices people like Maya, but Ethan did. When she returned with the plate, she placed it down gently. "I added extra toast. No charge," she said. Sometimes a little extra helps people through the day. That line struck him deeper than she realized. Because the night before, Ethan had been one decision away from closing the charitable foundation his late mother had started. He thought people didn't care anymore. He thought kindness had become extinct. But here she was proving him wrong with a plate of eggs and extra toast. Halfway through the meal, another moment changed everything. Maya didn't know Ethan was watching when she walked over to an elderly man struggling to count his change. He quietly admitted he was short by $1. Without hesitating, Mia slipped $1 from her own pocket and said, "You're all good. Breakfast is meant to start your day right, not stress you out." She smiled and walked away before he could thank her. Ethan felt his throat tighten. This wasn't customer service. This wasn't performance. This was character, something money couldn't buy, something he had been searching for in himself, in others in the world. When Maya returned with the check, she said, "Take your time. No rush." Ethan opened the bill and froze. She had given him a discount. He stared at her. "You didn't have to do that," he said softly. She shrugged. "You asked for something simple. We all have days where simple is all we need. I hope today gets better for you." No pity, no assumption, just genuine care. That was the moment he knew. It wasn't the meal. It wasn't the service. It was her heart. Kyan quietly stood, pulled out a card, and handed it to her. "This is my direct line," he said. "If you ever need anything, you call me." Maya looked confused. "Sir, I just did my job." "You did more than that," Ethan replied. "You reminded me what kindness looks like when no one is watching." He slid an envelope next to the receipt. Inside was a tip equal to 6 months of her salary. But he didn't stay to see her reaction. He simply walked out, feeling lighter than he had in years. 3 weeks later, the diner owner called a staff meeting. Nobody knew why a group of business people in suits were walking through the door until one of them stepped forward and announced, "Thanks to a new anonymous sponsor, every employee here is receiving full health benefits, higher wages, and paid time off." Maya froze the envelope, the card. The billionaire who ordered the cheapest meal. He didn't forget. He didn't just reward her kindness. He expanded it, turning her simple, quiet actions into something that could help everyone around her. And so, The billionaire who had come in searching for a moment of peace, left with something far more valuable. Hope that kindness still existed, that compassion still lived in small places, that humanity wasn't lost, it was just waiting to be noticed. And Maya, she learned something too, that even the smallest act of kindness can ripple its way into someone's heart and change their world forever. Cool moral of the story: you never know who you're serving, helping, or standing next to, but kindness, even the smallest kind, always finds its way.